Welcome to Module 2, Video 2 of ABEJAS. Commercial beekeeping requires careful attention to safety for both the beekeepers and the bees. Some key risks and safety considerations associated with beekeeping are potential physical injuries from incorrectly lifting heavy boxes, prolonged heat exposure, getting stung by bees, fire while using a smoker, pesticide exposure, and forklift operation. This video will address how to deal with these risks. Improper lifting techniques while handling hive boxes can lead to back injuries, strains, or sprains. It is important to use proper lifting techniques and tools to mitigate these risks. Before you lift, assess the weight of the box. If it feels too heavy or awkward to lift, consider breaking it down into smaller parts or asking for help. Also, plan where you will put the hive box, then remove obstacles from the ground around you and your walking path. Position yourself close to the hive to minimize the distance you will need to lift and carry the box. When lifting, bend your knees and keep your back straight to avoid straining your back. Use the strength of your legs to lift the box rather than your back. Proper lifting techniques reduce the risk of back injuries. Ensure you have a firm grip on the sides of the box or the handles. It is especially important to avoid twisting your body at the same time as lifting or leaning to one side while holding heavy equipment. Handling prolonged heat exposure involves taking actions to prevent heat-related illnesses and ensure your safety. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Avoid caffeinated or alcoholic beverages since they can dehydrate you. Choose lightweight and loose-fitting clothing to help keep your body cool, like a ventilated bee suit. Schedule and take regular breaks in a cool or shaded area to lower your body temperature and avoid continuous exposure to the heat. Use cool, damp cloths to cool your skin, or use fans and air conditioning to help cool you down. Be aware of symptoms of heat-related illnesses, such as dizziness, excessive sweating, or nausea. These are signs of heat exhaustion or heat stroke, which can be life-threatening. If any of these occur, cool the person and seek water, rest, and shade immediately. Seek medical attention by calling 911 if needed. OSHA and other agencies have flyers and training videos freely available on this topic. As mentioned in the previous video, it's important to wear the correct protective gear, such as a beekeeping suit, a veil, and gloves. However, while working in honeybee colonies, bee stings are almost inevitable. If you are stung by a bee, remove the stinger immediately. The faster you remove it, the less venom gets into your system. Gently pluck out the stinger or scrape the stinger away with a flat edge like a fingernail or a hive tool. You can also smoke the area where you were stung to mask alarm pheromone and to limit additional stings from nearby bees. Watch for severe reactions such as difficulty breathing, swelling in locations other than the sting site, itching in unusual places, or nausea and vomiting. If these occur, seek medical help immediately. For more typical stings where the reaction is localized to where you were stung, there are a few things you can do to take care of the sting site. When you are finished working in the field, you can wash the sting site with soap and water and apply a cold compress to reduce swelling and pain. If you know that you will swell, Taking an antihistamine at the time of the sting can reduce the severity of the reaction. While a smoker is a valuable tool, it is also a fire hazard. It's important to be mindful of fire safety while working with a smoker. Be especially careful when lighting a smoker, as embers or sparks may fall into the ground and accidentally go unnoticed as you move around the bee yard. While working with the smoker, place the smoker on a non-flammable surface, such as a metal or stone surface, or on the top of a hive box lid. Make sure it is on a stable, level surface to prevent it from tipping over. Never leave a lit smoker unattended. Only use recommended and safe materials for fuel, such as untreated wood chips or burlap. Avoid using materials that can produce excessive sparks or hazardous fumes. To extinguish the smoker, use water or dirt. Ensure all embers are fully out before disposing of the contents. Do not just close the lid or plug the spout with wet grass unless it is going into a secure smoker box. It is good practice to have a metal smoker box to contain the smoker while in transit. It is also a good idea to have extra water or a fire extinguisher on hand in case a small fire starts. Pesticide exposure is a significant concern for beekeepers, as it can harm both bees and humans. Stay informed about when and where pesticides are being applied in your area by communicating with farmers and neighbors. Avoid placing hives near crops during pesticide application periods. Consider moving hives temporarily if necessary. Conduct colony inspections and other activities during times when pesticides are less likely to be in use. By staying informed and taking preventative measures, beekeepers can help protect their colonies and their employees from the adverse effects of pesticide exposure. You may apply pesticides or antibiotics in a beehive to treat parasites, pests, or pathogens. Always wear the correct personal protective equipment, often called PPE, to avoid direct contact between the pesticide or antibiotic in your skin and potentially breathing in dangerous fumes. PPE may include chemical-resistant gloves, long sleeves, long pants, or coveralls, closed-toed shoes with socks, protective eyewear, and a respirator. If the chemical being applied is a vapor, you are at risk of inhaling fumes, so be sure to have a correctly fitted respirator. If you are not sure what PPE you need to wear for certain chemicals, read the label. The label will specify how to safely handle and apply the chemical and what to do in an emergency. Remember, the label is the law. The EPA and other agencies have flyers and training videos freely available on this topic. Using forklifts in beekeeping operations requires specific safety measures to ensure both the safety of the personnel and the integrity of the beekeeping equipment and the bees. Operators should be trained in safety procedures, including load handling and emergency protocols. Ensure that hive boxes are securely placed and balanced on the forklift. Avoid overloading the forklift and ensure that the load is within the forklift's capacity. Operate the forklift at safe speeds and use caution when maneuvering, especially in areas with high pedestrian traffic or around hives. Be especially mindful of other beekeepers who might be focused on beekeeping tasks and may not be aware of their proximity to the forklift. Operators should wear seat belts and avoid steep terrain or other risks that could lead to a rollover. Your operation should have an emergency plan in place for accidents and equipment malfunctions. Personnel should be trained in first aid and know how to respond to common injuries or emergencies related to forklift operations. OSHA and other agencies publish training materials and training videos that are freely available on this topic. At this point, we've talked about equipment involved in beekeeping and how to minimize injury from the potential risks associated with beekeeping. Next, we will talk more about how to recognize nutritional needs and queen status during colony assessments. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment below to let us know what additional topics you would like us to cover in future videos.